How did you begin to mold your herbal path as a teacher, and what were your first teaching experiences like? I grew up with teachers in my family and librarians. So I kind of knew early on that I would be a person that would probably talk to folks about things. I kind of have the orientation to spreading information. I love knowledge. I love understanding things, and I love what happens when other people, understand things, when I can help facilitate that. And so witnessing that in my family and sort of value on that led me to teach workshops and share just what I knew at the time, starting, in my early 20s. So I've been teaching for 30 years in one way or another, but of course, in the beginning, it was much more, just kind of peer sharing about, basic herbal type information, plant knowledge, things like that. And over time has become more about helping people, not just to support themselves, but helping folks become the people who teach and who are clinicians and are really then directly working with folks around their health. And I feel really proud to say that there are so many people out there who I've been part of their path and their journey to become teachers and to become clinicians, which is very gratifying. So yeah, I think in terms of, what I would give in terms of advice or just how folks might carve out a teaching path, I think doing some of what I did, which is, teach what you know, teach what you've experienced with, teach what comes with your passion and excitement. Everyone always says you want to try to teach things that your audience needs or wants, and that's absolutely true. But if it's not something you also feel passionate and excited about, then the work that you need to do to be a good teacher of that subject can be more challenging. And also the ways in which your passion really comes through and makes what you're teaching exciting and engaging is really important. So you can have incredible content, and if it doesn't feel exciting or juicy or meaningful or inspiring to you, if you don't want to keep learning about it, it's much less likely to be any of those things for folks who are listening. So I just am a big fan of following what I'm excited about, what I want to learn more about. The best way to learn things is to teach about them. So start with a seed of things you know. And for me, a big part of how I've learned is to kind of build on my knowledge through pushing myself as a teacher. So wanting to always be on something solid that I understand, but then, each class I teach gives me an opportunity to update my knowledge, dig into research, look at further resources, kind of explore what other herbalists do, what other specialties that are not herbal medicine do and think, and, bring those things together into a conversation, that I'm kind of sharing with people like, hey, I was just looking at this sort of body of information, whether it's written or kind of just in the kind of herbal information environment, pulling it together and saying like, I was listening in on this conversation, basically, like I want you to kind of have you all join into it. And again, that is so invitational and so I find much more engaging than just sort of let me deliver to you, what I know or have done for, 20 years. And this is it, this is kind of becomes sort of fixed and frankly, a little stale. So I have things that I've taught for 30 years at this point that I'm still not bored of because I am still learning about it or I'm still exploring. Once you have a solid foundation in one place, you can easily build on top of it and bring in other information and knowledge and ideas even provide ideas that are maybe counter to what you're doing, or kind of give a different perspective. So yeah, I think it has to be something that you love, that you're excited about, that you just feel genuinely curious about. And then that always makes other people more genuinely curious and want to listen and want to engage. So I think that's my advice for anybody who's thinking about teaching, or kind of in the beginning. Maybe you're like, I think everyone's telling me they really just want to know about whatever digestive health, and I'm not that excited about it, but it seems like that's what quote sells, or that's what, the market seems to be suggesting. And yeah, we do. If that's how you're trying to support yourself, you do need to listen to that, but you still just have to find a way to make it what you love. That's important, because that's what ultimately will have people excited to listen to you again and to work with you as a clinician, if that's what you're doing, and to learn more from you in other ways. So bring the passion.